Hello YouTube. I wanted to do a quick tutorial for photo engraving using my XTool S1 40-watt laser. I've chosen a John Wick image here. I just grabbed one off the internet just for the tutorial. I'm not trying to sell this image or this picture or anything like that. Just using it for the tutorial. Here's the spray paint that I like to use. I'm a fan of this Rust-Oleum 2X Ultra Cover. I got a black, a granite, and a blossom white here, satin. And most important thing for when you're painting these is to try to get all the edges and to come from multiple ways. Try not to go too thick. I try to go pretty thin on all these, just do light coats. First you start with your white. I let it sit at least 30 minutes between your other coats. It'd probably be better to let it sit a little longer. I've done some of these 3 coats and then actually engraved it in less than 3 hours. So here's the gray coat. This is your middle coat. Same thing. Come from all 4 sides. Try to get the edges. Try not to go too thick. And even when I'm doing the main coat, I try to go from all 4 sides to make sure we're getting all of the edges of the canvas. The canvas has some kind of peaks and valleys on it. They're really shallow, but go from all 4 sides so you get good coverage. And then wait about 30 minutes, let it dry, and here's the black coat. Once you let this dry completely, you can go ahead and start your engrave. This one's set overnight, so this is the next day when I engrave it. So I'm just getting it ready here so I can measure the distance. And then in XCS, measuring the distance here. After you measure the distance, you will go in and mark your processing area. Do rectangle, and then back to the machine. My machine's outside, so I have to travel in and out. First, right here, I'm just trying to make sure that the canvas is even, so I'll get a good square picture on it. I always use the laser to kind of measure this out. You can see I was a little low on the right side. And then now actually marking the canvas. Back inside end your marking, and then now you know where you're going to engrave. Like I said, I just copied an image off the internet. I just copy and pasted it there to get it on the screen. I like my images to overlap the processing area just a little bit. That way it'll actually engrave the image on the edge. You're just going to crop the image and resize it. This isn't the greatest image quality. Better image quality, you'll get better engraves. And then just cropping the image down to where it won't engrave so much outside the border. That way it'll speed it up a little bit. Got a little too much overlap here, so I'm going to try to crop it down again. That looks pretty good. Good overlap on both sides there. Now ready to set the engrave settings. I just set mine, I invert it, and then I don't change anything else typically. I leave it with the defaults. I don't change my bitmap mode. I leave it at grayscale, which I have a canvas grave setting here, which is doing 50% power, 600 millimeters per second speed. Like I said, I have the XTool S1 40-watt laser, and I'm just doing this one at 200 lines per centimeter. And it's ready. Go ahead and go to process. My laser's out in the garage and I'm connected wirelessly, so it takes a little while for it to send the image in. And as you can see, it says it's going to take 34 minutes to engrave this. This is a 5x7 image. Obviously, if I have a bigger canvas, then it's going to take longer. And wait for it to send to the laser. This usually doesn't take too long. If I have really big images or a lot of vectors in it, it'll take a little while. Usually it'll send in 10-15 seconds. Alright, now we're ready. Back out to the machine and just hit the button and it'll go. See, I didn't do a real great job when I was painting. There's no bubbles, but there's some little high marks on it. The more time you spend painting, making sure you're getting good thin coats, you'll get better results on your engraving. Usually when I'm doing long engraves like this, I will go inside and sit in the house and watch YouTube or whatever. I do have a camera on my laser at all times, so I'll sit there and turn that camera on and watch it. For these photo engraves, I'm not really worried about it catching fire, but for when you're doing cutting and things like that, there's definitely concern with it catching on fire. So really best practice is to never leave your laser while it's running, but it's kind of hard for me to just stand outside for 30, 45 minutes plus watching this thing work. And it's done. Just kind of show you the three different images, the original, the end result up top, and then what it looked like whenever I inverted it. Here's a couple other engraves I've done. Ninja Turtles, and then another Deadpool. And here's a color of the Alamo. And this one's actually on acrylic. Oh, hope that helped. I really like these photo engraves. If you have any questions, let me know. Thanks.